Coach, when you face a player like Kalen Carr, not to give away your game plan or anything, but do you gear defense around slowing her down, or do you play straight up and worry about the other players? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously try to slow her down, but not too many people are effective, doing that. Obviously, Indiana did a great job on her last night, and really, they just made it really hard for her. So, but yeah, you can't totally take her out of it. She's gonna get hers. You got to really concentrate too on making sure the other guys don't have career nights and don't go off. So, it's kind of a mixture of both. We're gonna play our normal, regular, defensive principles, but then obviously an added, awareness and attention with where she is and what we're going to do.
Tara kind of referenced it just after the Purdue game, maybe being a bit of a wake-up call for this team. Did you sense something different, maybe after that game, a different focus from your team the last couple of games that's led to what you've been able to do here?
I think just more consistency in terms of, their attention detail day in and day out, and that's something that we always talk about in our program and preach. But at the end of the day, they got to come in and do it, and been really proud of them for the most part. This past 2 weeks have been and I've said it multiple times, have been our best practices of the year with our entire team locked in. And when you do that, you start, the results will come. So just really, proud of them for, again, realizing, okay, this is, whether it's a wake-up call or whatever you want to call it, they've brought it, and they've been consistent, and it's been in practice, it's been in games. The attention detail has been elite lately.
Every game's different, right? But you beat a team that just beat Iowa, you beat Iowa before. Like, are there confidence-building nuggets in that, or is it just totally unbelievable?
I mean, I think for players, maybe, and just as younger kids, you kind of look at all those things, like, okay, well, we beat them last year, okay, we just beat Iowa, or just beat Indiana beat them, but then at the end of the day, you gotta go play. I think a lot of basketball is matchups and how you match up with people, and, so I think that gives our team confidence too. But, now the only bad thing is they just lost the game. They're going to be really, really, really mad and want to come out and beat us, just like Indiana, was really, really mad coming off of their game on Monday, and they played just amazing last night. Rewatching that game and breaking it down, they did everything, really right in their game plan in order to beat a great team like Iowa.
Jim talked about the confidence of this team. She's at a high right now. Like, how do you see that in practice or in games or in film? Like, how do you see that show up?
Yeah, I see it mostly in practice, and I think it's just how we've come, the energy we've brought really, the last 2 weeks, just again collectively as a group. They come in here just eager. You can see behind me, everyone's in here extra, getting shots up, and putting work in, whether it's on the floor in the film room. And I just think that they're really feeling really good about, how we're playing and how we're doing it together. But again, we got to just continue to take one day at a time. It doesn't get any easier for us, so this is a really tough stretch here.
And Makara's getting to the line 8, 9, 10, 11 times a game. What does that just kind of do for your team just in general, and then for her as well?
It's absolutely a game changer for us. If she can get to the free throw line that many times, it's huge for us. And for her individually, because, as a player, I always thought the same thing. Like, I try to get yourself to the free throw line, manufacture points, get yourself confident from the line. And those are just great opportunities, and she's doing that. This is this stretch of these last few games, the best she's ever done in her career, consistently getting to the line.
Has that been the big difference offensively for you guys, getting Kyra and Jen at least downhill a lot more? Because I know you're not shooting as well as you'd like, but they're getting a lot more layup opportunities.
It really is, and we're always, we've tracked paint touches. It's something we talk about all the time, but I think now, you talk about confidence and seeing a little bit of success with it. Now they're like, okay, this is what we can get if we really are aggressive and try and get to the rim, whether it's free throw line, whether it's layup opportunities, or whether it's inside out, where we're getting inside out threes. So, the last couple of weeks they've really bought into it, and it's been huge for us.
Yeah, you said something interesting. Like a year ago at this time, you had injuries that were really starting to pile up, and so now it feels like you guys are kind of on the upswing towards the back. Like, do you agree with that? Do you feel like this team is trending in that direction right now?
Yeah, I do. I think she's right. Last year, we kind of felt that early and had a lot of that, success, and we're in a really good groove early on, where obviously this year we've gone through some ups and downs throughout. And I think right now we're getting, this is the most confident we've been as a group and collectively. It's the best basketball we've played consistently the past few games. And so what better time, to be playing with confidence and playing really well together. I think it's the most connected and together we've been. So I'm really happy with where we're at. And again, with the stretch we have coming up, you have to be playing your best basketball. So I think it's kind of a different, we were more going down this way last year in terms of just the everything. And I feel like we're on the upward track right now.
What's that do for you as a coach when you sense that confidence among you, or even as a coaching staff, when you sense that in practice or in games?
I mean, as a coach, you want a confident group, right? And during those times where we struggled some, it's our job and my job to try to instill confidence and belief, and we got to weather and stay the course and get through this together. But when you have a group of confident people, coming out, confidence is it's a very powerful thing, and it can just, it's contagious. So you work harder, there's more energy, there's more communication, our practices are better, the games are different. So it's the most important thing, really to a team.
You referenced it just, last year, 10 million people tuning in for the national championship game, and just maybe the effect that Caitlin's had just on the game in general. What have you kind of maybe noticed about what she's been able to do, and how good is that for the women's game to have that piece to it?
I mean, it's amazing, right? This is what we all want. This is what, women's basketball deserves. I think the product is it's great, and now people are really seeing that. And even, Caitlin Clark is a big reason behind it. Let's call it what it is. But you saw that game last night. I mean, Indiana, it was pretty much all white in there. There was a lot of orange, or a lot of, I'm thinking orange. There was a lot of gold in there, but it was mostly, Indiana fans, and 17,000 of them, and we're going to see mostly gold when we go, to Carver Hawkeye on Sunday, and it's going to be sold out in 18,000. So it's just so great for the game, and I mean, I love it. I love it for our players. What a great, environment for these guys to play in, and Sunday's going to be fun. It's going to be a game that they'll always remember, and playing at Assembly Hall for us at Indiana was great. 9,000, 10,000 people. But these are great environments, and we're fortunate and blessed, to be at this point in the game. But definitely, you got to give Caitlin Clark a lot of credit for that.
I know coaches have the one game at a time mentality, but do you track the net? Do you talk to the team about the net and where you need to go to make it to postseason play?
At times I'll tell them about it. They know now. They know the quad one games. Like, they're a pretty veteran group. So I make it a point to say the opportunities that we have in front of us. But then there's sometimes where you got to win games. For us right now, it's our net really hasn't, and that's fine. We need wins, and quality wins in terms of just where our record is to talk even about any bubble talk or anything. So right now, with this not many games left, it's about we got to win basketball games, and the net all takes care of itself.
How does Dell and what she's done this last month affect the team in a sense? She seems to be the one person on your team that doesn't need the basketball to be happy.
Yes, you're right, and she's one that doesn't need the basketball to make an impact, and really to fuel this team, and her energy, how hard she's playing right now, her defense intensity, her defense attention to detail, how she's defending some of the best players, her rebounding, the steals she's gotten. I mean, I can go on and on. Think about every game, these wins we've had. She's made just key plays, defensive plays, in order to either get a win or solidify a win. It's contagious. You talk about energy and confidence being contagious. Dell's, just her vibes and her positivity is contagious for this team, and her teammates feed off of it.
It's easy to take Kendall Boston for granted because she just goes out and does the same thing every game.
Yeah.
But what has she meant to the team, not just this year, but what she meant to the program?
Yeah, you guys hear me. I don't take her for granted. I know how fortunate and blessed we are to have someone like her that's just comes every day and works and just so consistent. It's what the biggest thing as a coach, what you want is consistency, and you know what you're going to get from her every single day. So how she's been playing, and I think she's even playing better this year than she was last year. Her ability to now hit 15, 17 foot, jump shots, and how she's playing the four more, and her defense. talk about, you know, an improvement defensively. Now she's able to guard guards. So just could not be more happy and proud, and you know, for Kendall and to have her on our team. So there's no taking her for granted in what she brings.
I know Bryn hasn't been on the injury report, but has she been dealing with something? Because obviously we haven't seen her, you know, play a lot the last month or so.
Yeah, she's had a little bit of, you know, some issues with her wrist. As you see, it's tape, but it's nothing that's really kept her out. She's been practicing, she's been playing. It's just, you know, and we need her. We need her to play at a high level, and you know, what she's brought to our team last year, and there's been times this year she's, you know, been really, really good. It's just more of a feel I've gone with, and we've had to play smaller in some of these games just because of matchups. So, you know, and now with Hobby playing really well too, and KB going to the 4, you know, it's hard. It's hard to take both of them off the floor. So sometimes it's not necessarily what one player isn't doing. It could be what other players are doing, and that's. There's only 40 minutes to go around, but you know, Bryn's been working as hard as she can. She continues to do what she does. It's just sometimes it's matchups, and like I said, with KB and Hobby playing so well, it's hard to take them off.
One more about Caitlin, if I could. Like, obviously, you see she can score a lot in a lot of ways, but it seems like as a facilitator, she can be a problem as well. Like, how big of a threat is that for you guys to deal with, in addition to her shots and scoring?
Yeah, it's just as big of a deal as her ability to put the ball in the basket. She's elite, and I think Clark has gotten better from last year this year. If you watch her and how she facilitates, she's one of the best passers I've ever seen. Her vision is amazing. So you're worried about her scoring, but then she really assists on most of their scores. She has her hands in either scoring or she's the one assisting. So she has so much effect on it. So you really got to do a great job of number one, not letting her get clean shots, but then also trying to keep her in front, because if she beats you, she's so good at angles, and then she's just picking you apart. So it's why she's the best player, I believe, of all time in the women's side, and you know, she can do it all. So and she's got better defensively too.
A little off topic, but a little bit of a recruiting milestone with a player playing in the upcoming McDonald's All-American game. How often you get a chance to talk to her, and what kind of season has she had as a senior?
Yeah, she's playing really well right now, and they just won the other night, so we're obviously in constant contact with her and her family, and you know, hopefully she'll make state and I can go out and watch her at the state tournament again. But yeah, she's been doing great, and just excited to get her here and get her playing here, so can't wait for that.